Watch and connect. Great day, everyone. I am Springzil Daniel, and you're watching OceanClick TV Live. Welcome to our sixth and final episode of our second anniversary special, wherein we feature some of our awesome clients to know more about them and their business. Hosting with me today is OceanClick's marketing officer, once again, Hope Tinambakan. Hello, Hope.
To everyone who are watching us live online via YouTube, Facebook, and LinkedIn. Just stay with us because today we have not only one, but two special guests, right, Spring?
Yes, that's right, Hope. We are so grateful to have with us today a powerhouse nutrition wellness center team with 4 decades of combined experience. These two equally empowered women are very passionate in helping other women achieve their weight, energy, and health goals. Let us welcome Stephanie Goodman and Jane Schwartz, also known as the Nourishing Gurus. Welcome, Jane and Stephanie.
Thank you.
Hi, thanks for
Happy
having us.
anniversary.
Oh, thank you so much, and thank you for accepting this invitation. So, before we proceed with the questions that Hope has prepared for you, allow me first to further introduce you to all our audience that watching live tonight. So, to everyone, since turning the mid century corner a few years ago, our guests have become passionate about helping women in their 50s and beyond eliminate the dieting roller coaster so they can get healthy and stay healthy well into retirement. Their unique and holistic approach encompasses not only wholesome, energizing foods, but powerful habit, lifestyle, and mindset shifts. Stephanie Goodman is a certified nutrition consultant and holistic health practitioner and the owner of Progressive Nutrition Solutions LLC. She's a member of the American Association of Drugless Practitioners, or AADP, and she received her original certification as a clinical nutritionist through the Academy of Natural Health Sciences. And with her is Jane Schwartz. She is a registered dietitian nutritionist, a seasoned integrative nutrition counselor and speaker. She graduated from Cornell University with a Bachelor of Science in Nutrition and participated in the Oregon Health Sciences University Graduate Nutrition Internship. She has extensive affiliations and certifications in adult and pediatric weight management, leap therapy, specializing in food sensitivities, Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics, New Jersey Dietetic Association, nutrition entrepreneurs, and dietitians in functional medicine. Wow, those are our two powerhouse guests, Stephanie and Jane. So, once again, thank you. Thank you so much for accepting our invitation. And as I mentioned earlier, Hope has questions prepared for you.
Wow, thank
Great.
you very much. I feel very honored to be with you here today, and I am very curious about your team. So probably I would start by asking about the story behind the birth of the Nourishing Gurus. What brought you together and decide to become a team?
It's actually kind of a funny story. So, a good friend of mine, her name's Barbara. We were good friends because our sons were friends. And she had been telling me about her sister in law for years. Her sister in law is Jane. She's like, "Oh, Jane's a nutritionist. You guys have to talk." And I think we had met at birthday parties and just kind of knew each other to say hi, but we never actually sat down to talk. So, one day, almost 10 years ago, yikes, we sat down in Barbara's kitchen, and really, as it goes, we have never stopped talking since. We just, everything that we believed in, especially nutritionally and business wise, was so much in line. And we decided that we really wanted to help women. Used to be over 40, but as we've moved into 50, we've started just helping, noticing changes in our own bodies and so many of our clients and just what they need. And we're just passionate about helping them feel good in their bodies and lose weight and just really be able to enjoy life in their second half.
Wow.
Well, I'm not yet in my 40s, but getting there. So I'm already very interested in your programs and, of course, the material that you put out there. So I'm going to check it out for sure.
When you started, I'm curious. When you started, were there somehow like differences in terms of philosophies regarding the nutrition
In our
and
philosophies.
health? Yes, yes.
That's what was just so interesting. I think that we didn't have that many differences in philosophies, and that's why I think we connected so strongly. I think we might have even had assumptions about each other prior to that. I don't know that, like, she might have thought I, as in whatever, just like, because we have, I think, more unique and sort of out of the box approaches to things. And I don't know that either of us thought we thought the same way. So when we started talking, we were just like, wow, it was so it was so great. And that's why we just like joined forces and we're like, we can do stuff together.
Wow, that's great. I mean, not everyone can find the perfect partner in, this, as that have a very perfect match in philosophy. So that's so great for you.
We always
I'm
say
also
we're business soulmates. So,
Yeah.
business soulmates. That's exactly. I'm also,
Lucky them, right?
yes, that's right. Um, you have many years of experience now, and I'm sure you have encountered many women with different concerns. So I'm curious, what are the different or the common questions and concerns among women, especially those who are over 50 or 40 years old, about wellness and nutrition?
I
well,
no,
yeah,
go
go
ahead,
ahead,
Steph.
Jen. No, go ahead.
I think number one, I mean, what comes up most often is that it's much harder to lose weight. And there's lots of reasons behind that with hormone changes and muscle loss. And so that's not sort of like the window in or like the first avenue into sometimes working with us is just women are so frustrated that they were able to maintain their weight most of their lives and then just hitting it as they got older and just starting fluctuating and yo-yo dieting and like really having such a hard time losing and then maintaining weight. So the other thing is a lot of energy issues, not feeling as energetic as they used to. And then, of course, as you age, if you're not as careful with what you're eating or your movement, starting to see changes in your lab work. So their heart health, blood pressure, looking at their blood test results and seeing, wow, I never had my cholesterol rise or my blood sugar is a big thing that we talk about. A lot of people in prediabetes states and bone health is also a big issue at this age as well.
That's right.
Sorry, I was on mute. Stephanie, would you like to add to that?
Well, no, well, yeah, I guess I would. Um, so I would say another thing is we have a lot of women coming to us who have never really been able to hone in on their eating, and they're realizing now that like this is the time. It's just vital to do it now if they haven't gotten it down by now. And they just kind of don't believe that they can. They're so frustrated. They haven't gotten it down their whole lives. So they think, oh, why would I do it now? But we're here to teach them that they absolutely can do it. It doesn't matter how old you are, you can change it around. It's not too late.
And yeah, I believe that because I've experienced it. I know I said I'm approaching 40, but even starting 30, you can already start to feel the difference from when you can just eat whatever during your 20s and 30s. I felt that when you said start losing energy, low energy, and then fluctuation in your weight. Like, yes, it does have it happen, and some it begins as early as 30s.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
never too early to start. Sure.
Yeah. I would also like to ask that because you've done this for almost for 4 decades now. So, in your 4 decades of experience, I am curious about your observations regarding the mindset of people, especially among women, with regards to health and nutrition in the past as compared to the present? Are there any like significant differences or changes through time?
Yeah, so there's a lot of changes. So the mindset, you know, back in the 80s, 90s, everything was like low fat, low fat. So people still kind of have that, and that's completely been debunked. We have to kind of change
Oh,
people's mindset about that. And so many times people come to us with the diet mentality, like, oh, I need to go on a diet. We're like, stop that. You just need to live a healthy lifestyle. And if you're not on a diet, you can't go off a diet. So you make lifestyle changes, habit changes, you kind of change that mindset around so you don't really think about, oh, am I on my diet? Am I off my diet? Am I going to start Monday? So that's a big change that we help women see.
And this is sort of universal and not really just as we age, but we see this in all age groups, that they're what we call black and white thinking. So kind of like dovetailing on what Stephanie said, it's like you're either following a plan and you're on this sort of strict protocol, or you're not doing anything. And so that doesn't make any sense, because if you're following something, it should be something that's sustainable, that you can do for the rest of your life. And that's the trap that we see so many women falling into, is that they feel like in order to get their weight off, they have to do something very strict and very structured, where we kind of blend the two worlds and find that this black and white thinking never gets anybody anywhere. They have a little bit of success, and then once they make one little slip up, they feel like they failed, they screwed up, and then they feel like they can't do it. And so they just go back to their old habits, instead of really diving in and changing what are those habits and how do we slowly make changes to them that feel like you can just live in the real world and manage your weight and your health in just an enjoyable way, in a sustainable way. So kind of ridding that, we see it all the time, just black and white thinking. I'm doing something or I'm not doing something. So
hmm.
it's really common and very frustrating for women to feel like they're in that box.
And yeah, I just
Nice.
want to add one other thing to the mindset. Like a lot of times in 20s and 30s, women could just like cut some calories, lose weight in a week, and it was just so much easier then. And it just doesn't work that way now, but they still
Mm.
stay in the cutting the calories mentality, and that's not working. It's messing up the metabolism, and so things change. So that's definitely, they need to have a mindset shift on that you can't just like, okay, cut calories for a week or two and then you're lose the weight. It's just, you have
Right.
to move away from that.
And that's really true, right? The mindset is kind of like that's where you get the strength to continue carry on and really pursue that goal, and it's not easy, so I tried. A lot of people, they say like, let's do a new year's resolution, let the start of January, and it ends in January. So um I tried to challenge myself this year. So in fact, I started at let's say 67.5 kilograms. I don't know what that is in pounds
Yeah,
or but yeah, probably 140 maybe or more. But that's really the challenge, the changing of the mindset, because as you said, it's so easy to give up.
Hmm.
So thankfully, it's now August. I'm still there. I'm still holding,
great.
Still not
and
giving up,
this
Spring.
still not giving up, and this empowers me to to really continue and do that, because I have 3 kids and I want to be healthy for them. I want to be there
That's
for
right.
them.
Well, speaking to that, like we'll have people that say, "Oh, I can't start this now because I have, um, a wedding coming up, or, I'm going on vacation, or something's happening in my life, so I can't start now. And we'll say, this is the perfect time to start because we're not putting you on something so restrictive. We're going to teach you how to follow a healthy plan while you're living your real life. So it just makes so much more sense because, they learn how to manage, do these habits in the real world. And that's what it's all about. Because we all have challenges, we all have stresses, we all have events, we all are living our lives, and we need to do it in a way that, it's a little give and take, but it's like makes it, something you can do forever.
Yeah, that's why I'm like, the anniversary is coming up and there's going to be a party, there's going to be food, like
Right.
bracing myself.
Yeah.
And you want to enjoy yourself. I mean, we're
Yeah,
not about like, oh, don't have that, don't do that, don't go there. It's just, you just have to learn to fit it in. And if you do you indulge one day or something, it doesn't mean anything for the next day. Go back and eat healthier the next day.
Thank
that's
you for
right.
that. Yes.
Right.
No, what's interesting, especially for the past few years, is that the pandemic happened, and when the pandemic happened, suddenly, many people are becoming more conscious about health and diet. So I'm curious, how did the pandemic impact your work? And were there more people who approached and asked you for your expertise as compared to pre-pandemic?
Well, what's interesting is we were virtual before.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm.
that aspect of our business didn't really change that much. We were still virtual, but people got more comfortable with speaking to us virtually. And, we were doing Zoom before. We use Zoom a lot of times with clients, and people are like, oh, now I know how to use Zoom. Okay, I'm much more comfortable with it. So it made us more, uh, I don't know, normalize what we did. But there's two ways that we kind of see people going during the pandemic. So one was to certainly like, I'm going to get out and walk. I can't do anything else. I'm going to eat healthier. I'm home more. I'm going to cook more. And people go that way. But we saw a lot of people go the other way and then reach out to us after a year or so, like, oh, I stopped exercising. I'm depressed. I'm stressed. I'm eating a lot. I'm working right next to my kitchen. I used to go out and commute, and so like I've gained the COVID. I don't know, it's like the COVID-15 or something. They called
Instead
it.
of the freshman version, like the
Yeah,
COVID
yeah, it was like
20.
yeah. So we had a lot of people reach out to us. Yeah, they wanted to get healthier, but yeah, they also went off track and wanted to get back on.
Hmm.
So
Yeah,
that's an
that's true.
interesting question.
You,
Well,
you want to add something, Jay? No?
yeah, maybe Jane has something to
No,
add.
that's it. I mean, I would say it probably leaned more towards people struggling more. They're home, they're near their kitchen all the time, they're working from home. There's like access to
The fridge
food
is
all the
nearby.
time, the fridge, and yeah, but it is interesting because like you are able to kind of exercise more and get out and maybe cook healthier, but people were just eating more. And again, also, like Stephanie said, just the mindset that, people feeling depressed or anxious, there was, it was a stressful time. So that often leads to just eating more. So I would say that, the weight issue was pretty paramount during that time.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can totally relate to that because I'm in the performing arts, so I'm used to really moving and performing. But when the pandemic happened, I was just like eating and eating and eating. So it was it was it was not a very good experience for me.
Yeah.
All right. Now let's us maybe we can you can share to us more about your program. I've read about the Simply Nourished solution and Mega Energy Breakthrough. Maybe you can tell us more about this.
So Simply Nourished kind of was born, I would say, out of a need for what we were seeing from clients. So it used to be, all right, here's what you eat, here's the best way to eat. We give it to clients and they'd be on their way. But unfortunately, they would be back and like, oh, I couldn't keep track, I couldn't do it, I went off track, whatever. So we're like, why do they keep going off track? What's going on? And that's when we had to kind of lift the hood and dive dive a little deeper. And we realized that okay, people a lot of times know what to eat. If they don't know what to eat, we have another program for that. But a lot of times they do know what to eat. They just can't keep on track. So we found that setting up their environment is really important. You know, if you have all the healthy food in your kitchen, it's just going to help you so much more. We realized we had to help them with, especially after the pandemic, the emotional eating, stress eating aspect, cravings. So basically, what Simply Nourished is, it's a holistic program that takes care of all the reasons why women might go off track and helps them turn it around. And there's a lot of accountability and support from us as they go through it. Jane, you could probably add more about it.
Yeah, we kind of came up with like 8 pillars that so addresses all the different aspects where nutrition is just one of them. And so, you know, again, like Stephanie said, in the experiences that we've had, we just put our heads together and said, what are all the reasons that happens? And we put each one into a pillar. So we address each one. And then the support is incredible. It's a combination of a group and one-on-one individual. So people can have this community support where they're connecting with other participants and they share and get inspiration from each other. And then they can also have individual time with one of us. And it's just like a nice blend of just this really holistic approach where you kind of feel like we're feeding all the need that everybody has in one way or another. So we found it's been really life-changing for the women that have gone through it and are going through it. And we feel like it is really different than anything else we've seen. Not a quick fix. They have to understand it's not a quick fix, but it's the long-term fix, you know, so.
And
that
the
really
community
is
aspect.
yeah,
No, I was
yeah,
just
please
going to
go
say the
ahead.
community aspect of it has been more than we even expected. The members are helping each other and supporting each other. And I think they really enjoy connecting with other women who are like-minded and are going through the same challenges and everything.
Yeah.
So that's why I'll be recommending a lot of my
Hmm.
connections there for sure, because I tried many times to start by myself, by my own, and I failed because there wasn't a community behind me who was supportive. And so I just kept on ballooning, like what Hope said, since the pandemic. And so it's not easy without a community. And it's nice to know that there is a community out there that has a holistic approach to health and wellness. Hope, do you have
Yeah.
further
Um,
questions?
you mentioned earlier that pre-pandemic you're already doing it virtually. Now I'm very curious as well to know if how important is a dynamic and progressive YouTube channel and active social media presence for your work.
I mean, it's extremely important for two reasons: for letting people know about our business so we have more customers, but also like it gives us a way to help people for free also. You know, we give so much information, especially through our YouTube channel. People could really just watch our YouTube channel and gain a lot. And also, our people who are our clients right now are always saying, "Oh, that helped me. I watched your YouTube video. That was really helpful." So it's been great just getting the word out about what we do, and also we really feel like we're able to help people through those channels.
Yeah, like if something comes up with a client, we're like, oh my God, we have to, we'll share our own perspective, but like this is the perfect, just watch this YouTube video. It's like says it all, We're like, we have that for everything. So it's been really fun actually. We've been really enjoying it a lot. So it's the platform that I think we feel the most comfortable now and just having the most fun with.
Now I'm curious about the impact of OceanClick services on your workload, especially that I think you're very busy people.
Yeah, I
I'll,
can
I'll,
speak to
I'll
that.
speak,
Oh, okay.
I'll just speak from my perspective for Stephanie. Stephanie was the one that did all the editing, everything. And I always felt so bad for her because it's a huge job and it would take up a lot of her time. And I was like, oh, I would try to pick up, we'd all have our jobs, right? delegate each other things, but the editing and the YouTube was really a lot. So I know how you feel about it, Stephanie. I mean, handing it over has been a huge time saver.
And I have to be honest, at first I'm like, well, I like editing. I like being in control. And I mean, for anybody who's a business owner, like, that is not the way to go. You have to be able to hand things off. You have to let things go so you can do the more, not important things, but the things that we are really here to do. It gives us more time for our clients and to develop content. So yeah, I let that go. And then now it's like, whoo, it's great. Like, okay, all we have to do is, write the content and film, and we're done. We move on to the next video.
All right. Well, I believe our video editors will be very happy to hear that they're able to help lighten the load and allow you to be able to create more meaningful content for your viewers and your audience, your clients as well. So before we continue, I would just like to mention that we will be posting in the comment section the Nourishing Gurus YouTube channel. So if you would like to visit their YouTube channel, watch their videos, and just check out what their content and get to know what this holistic wellness is all about, please do click on um, the links to their YouTube channel.
Yeah, I just want to add
And
a quick thing about we've got
sure,
some feedback recently, and I have to say, like, I was editing and all doing all that before, but I think the level of professionalism has just gone up. I mean, it just looks so much more professional since you guys have taken over. And we're in a program about YouTube, and the owner's like, oh, it looks very professional. So yeah, we really appreciate
And the
that as
team's
well.
really responsive and just very kind. And like, we'll say, oh, any changes that we want to make, they're usually right on it, just super helpful and open to our ideas. And so it's been really a pleasure to work with them, you guys.
thank you so much. That warms our heart to hear that kind of feedback. That's why they do their best. And when you're appreciated for your work, I'm sure that that's something that they'll be very happy to hear. And of course, we have some comments here from our audience. Let me see if what questions do we have here. Okay. So this is a fun question. According to France, what would a nutritionist eat for breakfast, lunch, or dinner? Fun
Mm.
question. Let's go to the fun question.
Can we
Well,
Stephanie?
can we answer that with watch our video last week and this week? That's exactly what our video is on, because we get that question a lot. So
Stephanie's came out last week, and mine is on target for this week.
There you
Um,
go. What can you give us a little
yeah, I
snippet?
mean, it also might answer one of the other questions, but we really try to stick with real food. We avoid the packaged, processed foods. We stay away from sugar. But I'm a smoothie girl. I like my smoothie for breakfast. Lunch is really typically some kind of vegetable, usually a salad and a protein. Neither of us are vegan, so I'll have like turkey or chicken or eggs for lunch. And then dinner is also typically we have chicken a lot or turkey. Like I have two boys and they love meat, so grass-fed beef. Then loaded with vegetables. Always thinking like, okay, how can I increase the nutrition of this? So lots of vegetables, a little bit of healthy starch. So
Mm.
in a nutshell.
Yeah, in a nutshell, it's very healthy.
Yeah, we're very similar actually in our eating style too. That we've been through different, maybe a little more than me in the last few years, of like different iterations of how we try to rearrange our macros to see how we feel. We're always looking at our blood sugar, uh, thinking about how we can manage that better to feel more stable and energizing. Those are things we share with our clients. But I also, in the summer months and when it's cold, warm outside, I do more smoothies too, and like chia puddings and things that are colder. And then in the warmer months, I like to do oatmeal and eggs, things like that in the morning. And same with Stephanie, lunch, just usually, a lot of times I do leftovers because it just saves me time. So I'll do leftovers from dinner. Always piling my plate again, like a lot of vegetables left over, or salad with protein. And a good healthy dressing. We're into fats. Make sure we get enough good salad dressing or avocado, nuts and seeds. And then dinners, same thing: meat, chicken, fish. Um, Always half plate, loads of vegetables and a little bit of starch. Sometimes pasta, with veggies and protein. So yeah.
It makes me think I really have no excuse because my house, I live near the fruit and vegetable market.
Mm-hmm.
so,
That's
so,
great. And
and
one thing
then we
we've
just,
noticed, oh, go ahead.
yeah, go ahead, go. No,
No,
no problem.
this has just came up the other day, and with my husband actually, and I've thought about it before. I think, Stephanie, we've talked about this, but refrigerators, the fruit and vegetable bins are so small. And sometimes the fruit
Mm,
drawer actually is even larger than the
Mm-hmm.
vegetable drawer. Not that fruit is bad, but like it's really hard to fit more than a couple of vegetables in the vegetable drawer. So it's like we should redesign fridges
Right. Yeah.
mm.
and make that space much bigger.
I hope that we have designers from the refrigerator
Or
companies
watching us.
listening,
Yes.
right? But I mean, that's a brilliant idea because that's true. Because of course, vegetables, fruits, it's difficult when you are just putting them on top, right, instead of where they're supposed to be placed. Because, yeah, their lifespan shortens.
Mhm.
And but for me, again, as I've said, I have no excuse 'cause it's really close to my house. I don't even need to refrigerate.
Great.
So
Yeah, that's good.
and we have another question here, another fun question actually. I believe he understands that your audience are more on their 40s and 50s, but so he's specifically saying, Earl is saying, as a man in my 20s, can you suggest what food is best to lose weight?
Proteins. Um, you want to make sure you're getting enough protein. And actually, we found that after 50, you need to focus on protein. But protein like helps you build lean muscle mass, and that's going to help you lose weight and staying away from the processed.
Yeah, processed foods are big. Or if you're drinking sodas or like energy drinks that have a lot of sugar, you really want to watch
Mm-hmm.
the sugar. And then just portion size. I mean, certainly a guy in his 20s is going to be able to handle a lot more calories than a woman in their, you
Yeah.
know, 50s and older. But sometimes that there's still overeating going on, so you want to just watch that you're eating just what you need and not overstuffing yourself. And piling on the vegetables are huge. A lot of guys just don't eat enough vegetables. So
Mm.
along with the protein, just really working in vegetables at, if not breakfast, at lunch and dinner.
Yeah. So Earl, it's a challenge for you. More veggies for you, Earl.
All right. And one more from John. Is there a specific food that can reduce heartburn?
Oh.
Hmm. I don't know that there's specific foods that can reduce heartburn, but it's foods that you want to kind of limit that can really
Mm,
make heartburn worse. So, well, first of all, if you're overeating, that can aggravate heartburn. But things like coffee and alcohol and really spicy or citrusy foods can aggravate heartburn. Um, so, seltzer can actually aggravate heartburn if someone's drinking seltzer. There's people we've seen react to that. So watching overeating, chewing your food really, really
Right.
well. We've noticed people do not chew enough. They chew a couple of times and they swallow. And then it's like this bowl that's
Rushing.
going down, rushing, eating, stress, eating, if you're stressed when you're eating, that can make heartburn a lot worse. So it's more, I think, not that one food can reduce it, but just looking at your habits that might be contributing to heartburn, whether it's certain
Mm.
foods or um, behaviors, eating behaviors that can make it worse.
I mean, if it's not chronic, just occasionally, you can take a little baking soda in water. And that might
So, do you have like a video about this in your channel?
We don't actually.
not about heartburn.
Yeah.
I would be
Good.
interested because I felt it like I've already felt it several times. Maybe it was my lifestyle. I drink a
I've
lot of coffee.
Yeah, coffee can aggravate it.
Yeah, so
But sometimes there, if you get kind of deep into the GI stuff, like there can be a situation where actually like if you don't have enough stomach acid, then that can
Mm,
sometimes create a heartburn, which seems
mm.
like the opposite.
Ah,
So sometimes we'll look at that, which is why the baking soda, like Stephanie said.
I
Um,
see.
but but yeah, so looking at lifestyle,
Mm.
diet, there's some supplements that might help, but yeah.
And we have two more questions here. I think we still have enough time for these two more questions. From Marco, would lemon and garlic help reduce high blood pressure?
there's some research on garlic helping. When you have, I think the amount of garlic you need, it might. I'm not sure that you can get it from food, right? I don't know what you think, Jay, but um, lemon,
I mean, it's alkaline, so that's
yeah,
good. I don't think necessarily just those two things would be enough to reduce blood pressure, but a whole sort of
Mm,
that they're both considered very alkaline, kind of anti-inflammatory. So
mm,
anything that's going to be in that realm is going to help with reducing blood pressure. But really, it's super, again, going back to the fruits and vegetables, just in abundance, like your overall diet can have a huge effect on your blood pressure. They've done
mm,
giant studies where they've just given large population of people a large dose of fruits, and it's called the DASH diet, actually. Um, Large doses of fruits and vegetables, nuts and seeds, reduce their sugars and processed foods, and blood pressure significantly were reduced even without a salt reduction.
mm.
So
Okay.
diet can be significant in blood pressure reduction if you're, watching what you put in and what you kind of limit.
I see. Well, thank you for that. Like what Hope said, fruits and vegetables is
Right.
really the way to go. And one last question here from Mary. As a woman in her 40s, what would be best to lower cholesterol and lose weight?
I mean, for the
Fiber.
losing weight, yeah, less sugar, less processed foods, and just like with James saying, loading the plates with vegetables and getting more fruit in. Um, it would help with both for sure.
There's
And
a misconception about fats. Like, so a lot of times when people think about how do I lower my cholesterol, I have to really go on a low fat diet, which that's not true. I mean, you want to watch your French fries and, things
you're
like
right.
burgers, and chips and that kind of fat. But you want to work in your avocados and your olive oil and all the good
mm,
healthy fats. But sugar is really the biggest driver of higher cholesterol levels. So sugar and processed food. So people don't usually make that connection. So that's where you really want to rein in on those types of foods and the processed things and lots of fiber.
Sodas, right? Sodas.
Yes, huge. Yep.
Mm-mm. So, no sodas, no processed foods.
Like sweetened iced teas and lemonade and and also just sweets in general.
Yeah,
Again, it's not an all or nothing, right? It's a
but
balance, so you don't have to completely eliminate certain things, but it's also just
mm,
more about what you're bringing in,
mhm.
to your diet. Are you eating enough? People think, oh, I have to avoid this and avoid that, but are you getting enough colorful fruits and vegetables? Are you getting enough fiber, nuts and seeds and avocados? And, um, so that's also, you have to look at that side too.
And there's also more information now, and it's a little controversial, but cholesterol does not need to be as low as they've been saying over the years.
Mhm.
And as we get
Mhm.
older, we actually like cholesterol helps our brains and our hormones and things like that. So
Oh,
I'd rather see somebody with the cholesterol closer to 200 than like 130.
Yeah.
So
oh,
oh,
okay. Well,
Yeah.
there you go. It's good to know. Well, thank you so much, the Nourishing Gurus, Steph and Jane. As I've said, we learned a lot from you today. And so we wish you all the best for your business. All right. And to all
thank
our
you.
audience, Thank you for watching, and we hope that you will join us again in our future episodes. Please do not hesitate to reach out to us if you have any questions or inquiries. And once again, you may contact us through the different social media platforms that we have. Just search for OceanClick Virtual Solutions on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. And you can also book an appointment with us through our website, which is oceanclick.biz. Also, please do subscribe to our YouTube channel, which is OceanClick TV. This has been Springzil Daniel, and together with me is Hope Tinambakan with our special guests, Stephanie and Jane, the Nourishing Gurus. Thank you so much for sharing your
Thank
time
you.
with us today.
Thank you for having us.
And this is Ocean Click TV. Click, watch, and connect. See you again next time.